This is a Mr. G production. Whoosh. Hey guys, welcome back to another art class, virtually speaking, with Mr. G. Today we're going to be learning about paper lanterns, how to make them, and the origin and history behind them, which is a really interesting and very diverse history. So first things first, this video is dedicated to the kindergartens and first graders, only because the rules and the, not so much rules, but the instructions are a little bit simpler. And then there's be another video for the older kids, 2nd through 5th, but by no means do you have to only do this one. You feel you can accomplish what you're gonna do in this lesson, by all means, go for the other one. It adds a little bit more measuring and less guessing, but hey, you know what? We're all here. Let's do the best we can and see where it goes from there. So first thing you're gonna do, you're gonna lay your paper the long way, sideways, and you're gonna fold it. And we've done things like this before. We fold them into like a taco. Taco bean has an opening at the top and a V at the bottom, thus the taco. So, and as I do this, I'm also going to go over a little bit of the history of paper sculptures, where they're from, the origin of them, and it's kind of interesting, the whole story behind them. But first thing, let's talk about what lanterns mean and bringing light to darkness. And the single lantern can provide light to lots of people. And when it's a dark time, like right now we're dealing with, this isn't really a far-fetched project to make us all very happy. And it makes me happy to make these, and I can't wait to teach you this. So you start off with a taco. Now again, for the younger ones, we don't have to do a lot of measuring. There are only some basic materials you're gonna need. They can be tape, they could be glue stick, you can use different kinds of tape actually. You need a ruler or a straight edge, a pencil, a crayon, anything that you can write with. And then as we go on, I'll explain to you the other details of things we may need for the other project. So we have our taco, here we go. And I leave it like that. I'm going to now draw a line across the top of the taco. The opening side again, and I'm going to, just using a pencil, just draw a line. I'm not doing measuring, like I said, keeping it simple. And then I want to make some other lines. I could hand draw them if I wanted to. In this case, I'm going to use my ruler or any straight edge. Any straight line would work. If you have an edge of a piece of cardboard, if you have anything that's not sharp and safe to use a straight edge, and you get adult permission, go ahead and use it. So I'm drawing all my lines up to that point. Some of you may remember that there's kinds of cutting from projects we've done, and now we're going to use it to make our lantern. So now we've got this really cool beginning of a lantern here. It has lines drawn up to the top like that, and we're going to use this top line as a line that we're going to stop at. So as I cut here, I'm going to start at the end, and I'm going to cut, and I'm going to keep cutting until I get to there. And I'm going to repeat this until I get to the last one. And while I'm doing this, I just want to talk a little bit about paper lanterns and the history. The history comes out of China around 200 BC, and they were used all around the world for different reasons, but in this case for festivals. And these festivals would be big gatherings on the 15th of, I'm trying to remember the month it is, and I think it's the 15th day of the first month of the lunar year. Very interesting. And they would get together in these big festivals, and these lanterns would actually have riddles on them. Riddles being like things to figure out, questions that would help to solve problems. And people would use this as a sign of how smart they were to figure out other people's riddles. So that was kind of cool. And throughout history, lanterns have evolved a lot, from lanterns that have things that help float it in the air for ceremonies, which we're not going to do for this one because that uses fire. We're not doing that. But we are making a lantern that we could express ourselves with the same way. So you can use tape, you can use scissors, and all these basic things to make these. Now in terms of connecting it together, we need to make sure we secure it, and we go straight across, lining up our lines, overlapping a segment if we wanted to. I'm going to take either a piece of tape, a glue stick. In this case, I'm going to take some tape, And I will recommend for many of you, including for myself, I always like to pre-rip tape, and I laid it on the edge of my table. I don't know if you can see the edge of my table, but I'm laying these pieces down, so as I'm working, I don't have to cut them and rip them and put down my artwork. It makes it a little bit easier. So now I take this finished product and I roll it around this way so it comes back around. They're already starting to form the shape of a lantern, which is really cool. And I'm gonna tape it here. Then go to the other side, take a piece of tape that I already ripped, like I said earlier, line it up best you can, and connect it here. So now connect. Now I wasn't that neat with my tape, but I really just wanted to show you how easy it is to connect. Now, where they overlap, I can connect another one here, but I'll just leave it like that for now to show you. I could push it down to kind of change the shape, and there's the beginning of my lantern. I need to make a handle for it because you got to carry the lantern to the festivals, right? So I'm going to use any piece of paper I have. In this case, I'll just use a piece of red that I have sitting around, and I'm going to cut it down a little bit shorter because I don't really need a really, really long handle for my lantern. And I'm going to, in this case, continue to use my tape. Glue would probably be the most neat way at the end result, but glue at the same time takes the most time to dry, so there's ups and downs to anything, whether it be tape or glue. Attach this here as well. Boom. So now we've got our handle on our lantern. Now, again, like I mentioned a riddle earlier, and let me just leave this here. I'll show you this one here, and this will give you some ideas. This one here I made, I used a yellow piece of paper, I colored wavy orange lines all over it, and I made my riddle, and I'll show you my riddle. I wrote red plus yellow equals, and to solve the problem, you look at the artwork itself, orange. So I utilized the answer to the riddle on the actual lantern there. There's lots of different kinds to look at and to make, but I really would like you to start with what I showed you, where you fold the paper and you make your lines, your cuts, and you put it together with the help of an adult, if possible. And then from there, you can make a second and third one where you even draw on the paper first. For example, in this one here, I drew a pattern and then made my cuts. So when I come back around, it looks interesting. It's no different than this, it's just had a drawing on it first, which of course you can do with a marker or a crayon. And the next one here I did here was just a rainbow I colored. And just imagine rolling that one around and getting a rainbow lantern. So there's really no limit. And if you're so challenged and you want to have some even extra fun and you have the scraps sitting around for making the project, you can cut pieces up and actually attach them at little shapes. And one of these here, I actually put a string on, as I wanted to show you. If you hang these and you aim a flashlight at them, you will get the most interesting patterns of light and shadow. So that's another thing about these projects, is they're really cool looking, not only to make, but to look at when they're doing their thing. So I look forward to seeing your results. Again, this is kindergarten and first. You can do this, move on to the next one. If you want to experiment and try extra different things, go ahead and try. That's what we're here for. So I will leave this here for you to look at on the way out of this video. Tune in for other videos. I look forward to seeing the results. I miss you all very much. Mr. G signing off for this video, and talk to you soon. Good luck.